Coming to Netflix November 17th, George C. Wolfe's newest film, Rustin, starring Coleman Domingo, is a very compelling film. This film highlights the story of Martin Luther King's right-hand man, Bayard Rustin, as an openly gay black activist for the civil rights movement. Let's get into this film. What's up, guys? So I had the luxury of going to this press screening, which is my very first press screening, which was pretty cool. There were a lot of people in this movie that did a great job, and a lot of people that I've seen before in other things but didn't really know their names. Our main character, who played Bayard Rustin, was starred by Coleman Domingo, as I said earlier, and he stole the show.
We are going to put together the largest peaceful protest made up of angelic troublemakers such as yourselves.
His performance was absolutely amazing. He made me laugh, he made me feel, almost made me cry at times. This guy really understood the assignment, and he went way above and beyond to bring us a cinematic version of Bayard Rustin.
How many bodies did it take to surround the White House?
How many? Sorry, I thought that was a setup for a joke. You literally want me to find out?
There were so many other good names in here: Chris Rock, Emil Amin, Jeffrey Wright, Lily Kay, and so many more. The acting in this movie really stood out because it made me feel so heavily. Obviously, this film stood out to me way more because I'm a man of color, so seeing this movie about the March on Washington, which took place in August 28th of 1963, which is also 100 years ahead, or at 100-year anniversary, of Lincoln's Gettysburg Address. The overall plot of this movie is Bayard Rustin is an openly gay black man, and he's fully supported Martin Luther King Jr.'s peaceful protests and coming together, unifying each other like men, women, black, white, old, young. This movie was tailored around Bayard Rustin's side of the story of getting together the March on Washington, which totaled over 250,000 people on that day. I would love to have been there in that moment, sitting in that sea of people, trying to vie for change and being in a momentous time in history to bring about change for racial diversity and racial injustices. This movie's runtime was not that bad, an hour and 40-something minutes. It's actually pretty perfect. They got to the point, but there were times, unfortunately, that I was pretty bored, and I hate to say it, but there were a lot of times that I just kind of got taken out a little bit. Luckily, the characters in the movie made me feel enough that I was very well invested. I was just like, all right, we just need to get past this part and we'll be fine. I will say that the reason that this movie isn't great to me, it's very, very good, but it is not necessarily great to me, is because there were elements in there that could have been taken out that didn't need to be focused on, and it was the romantic elements that were involved in this movie. Yes, in movies, at times, romantic elements definitely adds a fuel and fire to the story and to the chemistry between actors and actresses. This movie in particular, I do not think needed to have any romantic interests per se. You cannot tell Bayard Rustin's story without giving, some backstory into his love life and his orientation. I understand that part, but on the flip side of it, the main point of this movie is to highlight racial injustice and the process that went into planning the March on Washington. Another thing is there were a lot of characters that were integrated and a lot of names that I actually knew based off history and just taking different classes and learning things. There's certain things that you have to know or that you were exposed to. And so there were certain names that popped up and certain things that happened. The NAACP came into play, obviously, because that was a big proponent ran by black people of the civil rights movement. There's just certain characters that came up that I would have loved to see something more from, see some things fleshed out, but unfortunately, the movie fixated on other aspects. Love that they fixated on Bayard Rustin's side of the story. Gave him his time to shine because he almost got lost to history. I read an article that said that his story almost got lost to history because he was an openly gay black man. That's pretty sad because his story is phenomenal. If it was not for him, there might have still been a big peaceful protest, but it would not have been the March on Washington that we got. It would not have been the over 250,000 attendee protest, peaceful protest. This movie has a special place for me, not only because I'm a man of color, but also because I feel things and I can empathize with a lot of the things that are going on in this movie. No, I have not experienced half of what a lot of people who have a similar complexion to me experienced back in that time. And even before then, no, I have not experienced some of those things. Nowadays, people of color do experience different injustices, so do other Hispanic people and other minorities. Even white people, they do experience certain things too. This movie captured the whole aspect of having white people and black people together in the same room at that time, at that period in time in history, trying to make a change, trying to make a big difference, and genuinely trying to help people realize that we're all the same. We all bleed red, and we are all in this together, and we can have positive change, and we can get along if you just try, if you just gave it a chance. Don't shoot it down and don't shut it out, just give it a chance. As I said before, the acting was amazing. I definitely felt a lot from this movie. George C. Wolfe did a good job with the direction of the story, and he also did a damn good job with the casting and having these people and the chemistry together, acting out this story as if it was in those times. And man, I will say again, very good movie. I just wish there were certain things that were a little bit different that could have elevated this movie even more than what it was. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this review. Hopefully when this movie premieres on November 17th on Netflix, you will check it out. Or if you got a chance to check it out before then, definitely let me know what you thought about it. And whenever you get around to this movie and if you see this review, give your thoughts down below. Leave some comments down below. I want to hear what you thought about it. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it so you can get a notification anytime there's a new video. Thanks again for watching, guys. Until the next one.